When people used to make movies of their cats and their kids, they used cameras very similar to this. They shot on film, and they were terrific for outdoor work, but as soon as you got indoors, you were going to need a lot more lighting. This was pretty much state-of-the-art for home movie making when you were indoors. Now, the bulbs that they use are incandescent reflector bulbs. Sometimes they were larger than this, but the basic idea is that you heat a tungsten filament up to the point where it glows. It makes a very yellowish orange light. It's very flattering for flesh tones, fairly bright. The problem is these bulbs are very hot. They get very hot. They use a lot of electricity, and they do burn out. And in modern times, these kinds of bulbs are becoming harder and harder to find. You could certainly use these indoors to light up your home video projects. Is there a superior alternative to this? This is called a kilowatt, and it's a really kind of a cool device. It shows different features, the voltage and how many kilocycles it has and stuff. One of the other tools we're going to use today, this is called a non-contact thermometer. It's an electronic device with a sensor in the front. You don't actually have to touch this thermometer to whatever it is that you're measuring. I'm going to set this up on the tripod. I'm using just a regular old photography type tripod for a still camera, and I'm just going to put that right in there and lock it in place. Let's do that. We'll wiggle it around, and that way we can use the tilt and pan portion of the tripod. So we've got an extension cord, and we're going to plug in our kilowatt meter. When I press the watt meter, you can see that we're not drawing any current yet. So next up, I'm going to plug in our set of lights. I'm going to just spin this around and face the lights away from our camera and down a little bit maybe. Turn on just the inner lights. So let's see what happens. That's drawing 88 watts. That's 88 watts with just the two center bulbs on. Turn on the outer set of bulbs, and you can see the power jumps all the way up to 178. The next test that I want to do is I'm going to use our non-contact thermometer, and I'm going to aim it right at the back of the bulb there. Now, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but when we're at the back of that bulb, we're well over 300 degrees. We're at about 350, 360. That's very, very hot. This is an LED bulb. This is actually a floodlight bulb. It's made by Philips. It's a different light. It's a much whiter light. It's more down the 5000 K end of the spectrum light. It's a very white light, and it's very good for color rendition. So I'll put all four of these in, and as you can see, I've now replaced all of the four tungsten incandescent bulbs. I'll take a look at how the quality of the light is and how much energy they consume. Let me turn on these center two bulbs, and you can see the power consumption is 15 watts. I'm going to turn on the outer two, add that to it, and it jumps right up to about 35. So all four of these bulbs lit for about 35 watts. Remember what we got with the incandescent bulbs. They were 88 for the first two and 179 for all four bulbs. So right away, there's a lot of power savings right there. Next measurement that we took, of course, was with our non-contact thermometer. Now, in order to be fair, these have a plastic housing at the back that stands off from the bulb. So what I'm going to do is actually tilt the light rack up a little bit so I can take a little bit more of the front lens temperature here, because that's really where the light is being projected from. Let me move that around a little bit, and we'll see if we can't get the maximum temperature here. 87, 85, 87. Much, much cooler than the hundreds of degrees that the tungsten bulbs showed us. These LED bulbs are dimmable, so a neat feature that we can use is this dimmer switch that's in line. One end, the bulbs plug in, the other end plugs into the wall. And I'm going to turn on the bulbs, and you can see they're drawing their normal 30-something watts. And as I slide the control, we can change the brightness right here and the intensity. And that will work on both four bulbs, or you can even switch off and just use two bulbs.
So there you have it. Replace your old incandescent bulbs with new LED bulbs. They're dimmable, they use a lot less power, they make a lot less heat, and they allow you to join the ranks of modern video production.